I don't care if you've been waiting on that Spider-Verse 2 trailer to drop all night. If you up, smash that like button. Welcome to Black and Black Transgender. I'm your host, Cthulhu's Prodigy, coming to you live and direct from the Vista. Smoke me out, fam, with that damn shit on my left. Your boy Blue.
Back when we were kids, we didn't have an Xbox. All we had was a box.
Engineer on the right, choking people out on ones and twos. Chronos.
Hey, after this podcast, even doing this podcast, no, just pause the podcast. Call one of your loved ones and just tell them you love them. If they're in the same room with you, walk over to them. Just tell them you love them. You know, I've had some difficult times over the past couple of days, and appreciate what you got, man. It's just, yeah, appreciate what you got. I'll leave it at that.
Good shit, good shit. All right, we back up in here. No old ninja. Stitch may be joining in at some point. We'll see. But we're back up in here for, damn, it's already holiday season. December.
Yeah, it is. It is December. Yeah, not Halloween. Christmas is on the way. The war on Christmas, once again, has been won by Christmas. It was won by Christmas when Halloween started. So, y'all stop complaining about the war on Christmas. All right, you're gonna see record sales of something and a bunch of money. You're never gonna stop seeing Santa Claus and pagan trees and all the kinds of nonsense and Jesus and the mangers and all that. Stop making up a story about the war on Christmas. Yeah. Hey, if there was a war on Christmas, America would be Christmas, and I don't know, just. It'd be like Angola would be the opposing opponent at this point in time. Yeah. We would definitely win.
My question is, who? I mean, there's not even a close second. You know what I mean? Hanukkah is a small potato. No disrespect to anybody, but it's small potatoes compared to Christmas here. Let's be real.
Yeah.
You know, New Year's is not going to win. Certainly Kwanzaa is not. Nothing else is going to win.
Can I hold on?
I can't even think any.
I want to keep it 100 right now, okay? Because I said it on this podcast, and I just want to correct myself. I'm surprised nobody called me out. Maybe you guys. I think probably Prodigy and Old Ninja just probably rolled their eyes when I said this. But I said that Kwanzaa was just a made-up bullshit holiday. And
but all holidays are.
Huh?
Yeah, technically.
They are, but at the same time, it's like there's a reason for it. Same thing with like Juneteenth. I think I'll probably say something similar. It's like some made up bullshit holiday. It's not some made up bullshit holiday. Okay? I mean, yeah, all holidays are bullshit. Juneteenth is actually for a very good reason, and Kwanzaa is for a good reason as well. It's just us trying to get back some shit that was stolen from us. We're trying to have our own culture in America, something that we can preserve and keep it going and not have it corrupted by some fucking bullshit that we have no control over. So I understand that now. 3 years ago, I was an asshole and I said shit like that. And yeah, so if somebody goes back in the past, like if this podcast ever blows up and somebody's just like, oh, well, look what this stupid motherfucker said. Look how much of a, whatever racist he is, like self-hating, blah, blah, blah. Play this fucking part of the podcast. Bitch, I grew. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
There you go. That's called.
Well, it's crazy.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like I mentioned on the podcast before, like either I forgot what Juneteenth was, or like I never truly knew what it fucking meant. I just felt like it was fucking Christmas in July or in June or some shit like that. Like I never knew the actual historical reasoning behind it. And once I finally did, I was like, holy shit, like. Wow, I felt fucking dumb.
Well, this is what's embarrassing for me in particular, is that I've 100% been to Juneteenth celebrations at Stanford with my dad.
Same here.
And for some reason, I fucking forgot what the fuck it was all about until later on in my life. I started doing a bunch of internal work and reading a bunch of books. And then I was just like, oh, damn, you were an asshole about that. What is wrong with you? So yeah.
Well, what's great? Here's what's great. We're all growing, we're all improving, we're all learning new stuff. But just to go really quickly back to Kwanzaa and whatnot. Yes, it sounds silly to a certain extent in terms of the words and that. I guess the holiday season of it. doesn't make a lot of sense to some people. But when you actually look at the history of it, and some of the sentiments behind it, it's about like community and unity and working together and being thankful. I mean, a lot of positive stuff. There's nothing negative about it at all. And so, I encourage anybody, just, read up on it. And again, you don't have to necessarily celebrate anything that you don't believe in, but there's universally positive things that you'll come away with if you just do a tiny bit of Wikipedia reading about it. That's it.
Yeah, and I think another thing that I think is really, when it comes to Kwanzaa, I think it's actually more, at its core, is more wholesome than Christmas. Because Christmas is literally, it's a corporate created event to basically balance the books, to get people to buy shit at a certain time of the year to make sure that their books are balanced and that they have a profit at the end of the year. Kwanzaa's thing is like making a gift for somebody else. So you are not putting as much money into corporations' pockets as you would with like a traditional Christmas gift. And I like that aspect of it, especially now as I grow and I see how much harm corporations do to the average person.
Yeah. Well said. I mean, and technically it takes place in those 6 days, whatever it is, between Christmas Day and New Year's Day.
Yeah.
And so that time of the year, to be very honest with you, I get way more reflective. I like to kind of spend a little bit more time alone, do some reading, and just kind of reflect on, damn, what a fucking year it was,
A little bit of time alone, hashtag fuck them kids.
Yeah, man.
I'm just kidding.
Fuck them all. But yeah.
Then again, leave it up to black folks to have a holiday last 6 or 7 days long.
There you go.
We got that time off. Like, we be partying from Christmas all the way to New Year. No, but
you know what? And here's the other thing too. Shout out, and I've never worked for a company that does this. Maybe this company I'm working for now will do it. But shout out to those companies that actually say, "Fuck it, we're shutting down." Last week or last 2 weeks of the year, that's become much more the norm with a lot of companies now. I think it's awesome. I think it gives you time with your family, it gives you time to reflect, it gives you time to vacation, all of that fun stuff. So shout out to those companies.
What's crazy is that, like, I was working at Cisco at the time, and like when companies started first doing that, but it was mainly because to cut back, because like companies save money when you're not have to pay or without having the buildings open or whatever. But dude, it was weird because I had like a good 10 days off straight, and it was like, what am I gonna do? I'm so used to like working during this time that I got so used to having that week off that once I got into a company that doesn't get that week off, it's like, dude, like what the hell is wrong with you guys? Come on.
Yeah, so the company that I work for does do that. They've gone above and beyond, especially recently, of like really trying to give their employees a reason to stay with the company. They really have. They've tried. And yes, my company that I work for is one of the largest IT corporations in the world. It used to be the largest, but. And they've had layoffs, but every year that I've worked for them, they have a holiday shutdown. It's usually between a week and a half and 2 weeks, depending on what days Christmas and New Year's fall on. This year, it's like a weird one because it falls on like a Saturday, or Friday or Saturday or something like that. For Christmas and New Year's, it's weird. But what they do is they give you, I think it's 80 hours of what's called, I forget what the fuck they call it, but anyway, it's time just for the holiday shutdown. So they shut down the entire company, but they give you time in your time off for that time off. So you're not using your own time to do that.
That's cool.
So what's interesting with my role is that I do only outages and performance cases. So it's a role that needs to be staffed 24/7, like no matter what. Because if something goes down, we need to help them bring it back up. The performance cases can be an issue too. So for us, our team has to be staffed, and so we have to literally go in, and if we work on those days, we have to remove, because they automatically pre-populate that, hey, you have this day off and you're using like the time off that we gave you as these hours. And so for us, we have to go in, if we're going to work on those days, we have to remove that time off thing, and basically they pay us double time. And double time at my salary is pretty fucking significant. So this year, I'm going to work my exact same schedule, because I work Sunday through Wednesday, and all the holidays for this time frame is not on my days that I work. Taking off, I'm not taking off any days, so I'm going to get paid basically, I think it's like 80 extra hours or something like that.
That's nice, man. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Because it all
2 weeks worth of work in a week.
Yeah.
It all helps. Damn, we just jumped.
We did. We fucked up. I was going to say, we jumped the gun.
Oh, yeah. First chat.
First in the chat will be Crispy Crawler. Thank you very much for being the first in the chat, and also my boy Mike, dude from the Marine Corps. Love that dude. So we used to have some crazy parties in Riverside at a house that used to be owned by Disney. So
what the fuck?
Yeah,
Walt Disney.
Yeah, like the Disney Corporation.
Oh wow!
And they had the craziest backyard with like this slide and a fucking jacuzzi that overflowed into the pool, and you could walk into the pool. There wasn't steps. It was like it was crazy. We had a bunch of parties there. Anyway, that's a whole different like conversation. And the listener of the week would be Brittany. So thank you very much. You listened a bunch of times.
Wait, is Brittany bitch?
So
hey, she doesn't have conservatorship anymore, so she can do what the fuck she wants.
It's not Brittany Spears.
She's like, I want to listen to 5 black guys.
Brittany with a Pikachu hat. So I see you, Brittany, with the Pikachu hat. I can only see that because that's your profile picture on SoundCloud. So thank you very much for listening to us. We appreciate it.
Leave Brittany alone.
you got that camera angle going too, and the lights and stuff. It definitely looks like that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're talking about the person?
Yeah. The way Project has camera set up and like the background.
You gotta put it up like with the blonde hair and shit like that. I wonder they need to do like a thing of like, where's this person now? Hope they're doing okay, because their mental state was not okay.
Those early or mid-aughts YouTube stars.
Real quick, when I just talked about that house, the Disney house, Mike just said in the chat that the person who was related to the person that owned the house is literally just calling them right. It's calling him right now, which is hilarious.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good shit. Oh man! All right, guys, we got to jump on in. We're a little late. We rocking and rolling. Are we doing any pouring out of malt beverages?
Yeah,
there's one on here.
Well, there's 2, but I'll say the first one, and if Stitch comes on before I talk about this one, then he'll say the next one, or one of you guys can like talk about the one you guys know what I'm talking about. So anyway,
yeah.
So we'll give an RP to Bob Dole. Bob Dole. Blue got it. Everybody else that are young is like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Why'd you just repeat Bob Dole? Well, you're young.
You gotta like nod your head down too when you do it.
He was a presidential candidate. Anyway, Robert Joseph Dole was a World War II veteran that survived life-threatening injuries to become a U.S. senator. He was a former Senate Majority Leader and in the 1996 Republican nominee for president, where he championed expanding the federal food stamp program, bringing awareness to disabilities, and sending U.S. troops to foreign conflicts, which that's not a great thing. But anyway, even after retiring from politics, after losing the presidential race to Bill Clinton, Dole didn't shy away from the limelight. He took on a new career starring in television commercials for Viagra, Visa, and other brands. He also kept his commitment to his fellow war veterans, spending Saturdays well into his 90s greeting veterans who visited D.C. In February of this year, he announced he had stage 4 lung cancer, and he died in his sleep at the age of 98.
That's an incredibly long life. Shout out to anybody who's been pushing dick pills since the 90s. That's awesome. You know, I'm fully in support of all my dick pill, promoters. But yeah, I just remember when I think it was Tupac that shouted him out on some song. He was like, Bill Clinton, Mr. Bob Dole, you too old to understand the way the game's told. I was like, man, that shit was great. That's what I always think of when I hear Bob Dole. You know.
Well, the crazy thing is, even in that song, when he was talking about, Bob Dole not really understanding things, like Bill Clinton did way more harm than I think that Tupac even understood. Like him championing the Crime Act did way more harm to the African American community than, I mean, I'm trying to think of the last thing that I'm trying to quantify it, but it did way more harm. So we had a lot of progress since slavery. Okay, we're on an upward trajectory. Sorry, that ding that you heard, which the rest of you guys didn't hear, it was Mahai Blurred once again using Super Chat to donate to us. So thank you very much for donating to us.
Shout out to Mile High.
We appreciate it. Always fam. So
always. He's invited to the cookout.
Since slavery, we were making progress. We had the Civil Rights Act in the 1960s. I think it was 64. Pretty sure. Upward trajectory of like getting life better for African Americans. And then we had Nixon talking a bunch of shit about black people, and then we had the other fucking guy's name. I'm trying to remember his name. Reagan started the war on drugs. That's another dip. And then we have the crime bill. Huge fucking issue with African Americans and the legal system. And people at the time, people loved Bill Clinton, especially black people. They loved Bill Clinton, but he did way more harm.
Yep.
Especially as a Democrat, than any other person has done, especially given like the way that things were going at the time. And now looking back on it, it's like, man, he did a terrible job. And when somebody brings it up, he gets fucking viscerally angry about it. And it's like, but you wrote the bill. And when I think about like that kind of shit, it's like, man, there's no getting around that. And when I talk about the crime bill, it's not just him. It's his wife, and it's also Joe Biden. There's a whole bunch of people. That's one of the majority reasons why I did not vote for Joe Biden was because of the crime bill. Because like it did a lot of harm, and you didn't talk about it enough. That hey, like I understand people make mistakes, but you need to address those mistakes and talk about it and like apologize and do the things that need to be done to reverse the harm that you did. And so far, Joe Biden has not done that. Like he hasn't.
Yeah. I don't have any problem with anything you said. I think it's an important part of history. I don't shy away from any of it. I want to also highlight the fact that, this is, regardless of party, politicians love to scapegoat and attack the very easy target of black males.
Yep.
And that's who is primarily black and brown, but primarily black males as uber criminals and over police them.
Super criminals.
Huh? Yeah, super criminals, uber criminals, over police them, throw away the key, have harsher sentencing, have creative laws on gangs and violence and drugs and graffiti and anything else to try to over criminalize and over penalized from a legal standpoint, young black males. And so you're right about that. I don't have any problem with that history. That's factual. I would just say, and again, I'm not criticizing Bob Dole per se. I just, when I go back to that one Tupac lyric, he put both of them in. He put both of them in there because didn't he die in like 90? He died in 96, right? 96?
I think
95?
so. So yeah, obviously it doesn't have context, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
I'm also not trying to elevate Bob Dole. I mean, he probably would have done a shitty job too.
Who knows? But at the same time, you got to be really very honest with history, especially things that you can look at from a analytical and data standpoint and see, oh, this was the adverse effect. It was like the prison population ballooned. You know what I mean? And, surprise, surprise, black males and brown males completely got the sizable majority of that prison ballooning. Oh, you can look at, we've talked about it before, but you can look at things like, the stop and frisk, late 90s, all the way through the 2000s, and then people like the current mayor-elect or whatever in New York City talking about, oh, let's do it again. So, there's a whole lot to it, and I got smoke for any politician that wants to basically just criminalize being young and black. You know what I mean? And a lot of them did.
Especially knowing the history of what's happened. We know what has not worked and what has harmed communities. And the fact that people are doubling down on it, especially the new mayor of New York, the dude is fucking black.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he's gonna let's go back to this terrible policy that threw a bunch of more, black and brown people in jail. I mean, Jesus Christ, I forget the guy's name, but the guy that was selling loose cigarettes and ended up getting killed.
Oh yeah.
It was directly
Eric Gardner.
Yeah, it was Eric Gardner. Thank you. Say his name, Eric Gardner. He was killed because of this policy. He was choked to death because of this policy, and the fucking asshole that murdered him, is free to this day, and I'm pretty sure he's still a police officer.
Yeah.
This is why I'm 100% for ending qualified immunity.
Yeah.
And
but the other thing, real quick, is again, you don't really have, if we're being honest, a very reasonable probable cause for just stopping someone who's black, for who's outside, and just saying, I'm going to search you. You look like the type of person that has drugs on you. You look like the person that has a warrant or drug or weapons or something like that. And it should be illegal because it's an unreasonable search.
Illegal by the Fourth Amendment.
Yep.
Don't get it twisted. Read the Fourth Amendment. It's an illegal search and seizure. You need to have an articulable suspicion of somebody. If you just look at somebody and say that they're suspicious, that is not an articulable suspicion. It is not.
But then, you also, I'm pretty sure this fucking happens. I know Dave Chappelle joked about it too, but you had police officer planting drugs in fucking cars and stuff like that to get them fucking busted for stuff. I mean, I think they showed this in one of the Netflix documentary.
You can watch
where some cops were doing that.
You can look it up on YouTube. Happens way more than most people think.
Yeah, I think there was something that happened maybe a year or two ago where the officer planted a knife or something like that. I think they said the guy had a knife and blah blah blah, and in the video you can literally see the cop dropping a knife on the ground next to the person's body after they had taken him down. I can't remember what incident this was, but I remember that on the news.
You know what I got to get you guys to, both of you and everybody listening, to try to give a chance to, and Stitch got me on this, but y'all got to watch this Snowfall show, man. God damn.
Yeah.
Check it out on Hulu. Even if you don't think you're interested in it, even if you think it's not your cup of tea, it's some violent, drug-related, early 80s, LA-based or California-based awesomeness. That's all I'll say. And you also get tidbits of, okay, where the drugs were coming in and why, and the CIA and the FBI who allowed it, and corruption in police and corruption in the mayor department, and all of this stuff goes on in there. And then me having a little bit of history from some of the books and whatnot, and some of the history, from Gary Webb and whatnot. Most of it is well researched and factual. And so, again, I just got to give a shout out to that show, because boy, oh boy, do they chronicle that time period better than almost anything else you're going to watch.
Good. Yeah, I'm glad.
Dude, so
I'll check it out.
This is crazy. So I looked up to see what's the age group? Who was the first child to be tried as an adult? But I got another article that came out that says the youngest children actually to be tried as an adult. The whole reason why I wanted to look it up to see okay, what color of the skin of these kids who are being tried as an adult? And for the youngest, obviously they're black. It was Catherine and Chris Jones, and they were tried for killing their father's girlfriend back in 1990. The little girl was 13 and her brother was 12 years old, and they were tried as an adult. The sister got out in 2015 at the age of 30. And her yeah, and
I don't know any of the I've never heard that one, and I don't know any of the details, but Jesus Christ, that sounds like an interesting case. You know what I mean?
Well, it's interesting because it says child welfare investigators found signs that they were being sexually molested by a family member. Like, God damn. Boy. And so they both were tried as an adult for first-degree murder. And it was the oldest, or not the older brother. It's actually his younger brother because he's 12 years old, and he's the one that apparently shot his father's girlfriend.
Categorically, I'm going to say this. I have zero sympathy for child abusers. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
You know, and if someone who's been a victim of sexual violence and sexual abuse retaliates against that person, you know, the abuser, I don't think they should be sentenced for shit. Like, you know what I mean? But I don't know all the details of this case, but that's my bucket stance or blanket stance.
Yeah, I agree. It's
God damn, we are all over the fucking place, man.
Like, so when I say fuck them kids, I don't mean literally.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and if you do it literally, you know, I got no sympathy for whatever the world throws at you through violence and possibly death. So, yeah.
What's crazy is like these kids have been in jail since they were basically fucking babies, and like how did they come out into the real world? Like they don't have that. They don't know how to interact with people. Like, you know, how do I ask a girl out on a date? Like, you know, what kind of drinks should I get? Like, this is fucked up to be in jail for that long at that young of an age.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. All right, guys. Shit.
Okay.
Or do you want to do that other one, or we're gonna?
Why don't you guys go ahead?
Okay. Why don't we save it for? Let's save it for your voice search. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what should we get into first, man? There was a whole bunch of Spidey news. You want to start with
man
stuff?
Let's do it.
First and foremost, obviously we got the big movie dropping. I don't know, in a week or so, but. Man, we got a trailer for goddamn it for Spiderverse 2 Part 1 or something, right? Into the Spiderverse Part 2?
Yeah, it's Part 2, which is Part 1. I mean, it's 2, but it's Part 1 of 2.
God damn it, get the official title. I fucked it up. You keep talking, I'll get the title.
All right, but yeah, so they dropped the trailer this week, and it starts the way the first one ended, but there's a lot of changes in the trailer because in the original one, Miles was in his dorm room, but in this one he's at home and he's actually older. Like I've watched a bunch of other videos of them comparing the two videos, and like this is an older Miles. Like he's probably more later in his teenage years because he's taller, his hair's growing out, and this and that. And
real quick, it's Across the Spider-Verse Part 1.
That's what it is. Yes. Which I'm wondering if it's going to tie into Far From Home because we got multi-universal shit happening there, as well as like WandaVision and as well as Loki. So I wonder if all this shit's going to play into one big ass fucking crossover event. Because I mean, they're setting it up. I mean, it's the fucking writing is down there on the wall that we're going to get like some crazy ass shit happening.
I got a feeling, and this is, you know, based on absolutely nothing. I don't know anybody that's working on either one of those movies or whatever, but I got a feeling they're going to keep the Spider-Verse because it's animated and because technically Miles is the lead, I believe still. I think they're going to keep it separate at a high level, but I think you're going to get more Spidey characters.
Well, if you think about this, because Tom Holland's Spider-Man is getting an animated version on Disney Plus. It's going to be a homeroom or something like that. Yeah, it's coming out. They announced it during Disney Day. So they're making an animation version of that. But then also Into the Spiderverse, like the not Miles Spider, but the Spider-Man from the other universe was basically Tobey Maguire. Like there's like scenes where like it was pretty much stripped from the movie. Like there's a scene where he's like dancing and stuff like that. Oh no, it was actually, I think it was Miles' Spider-Man because I can't remember now.
Miles' Spider-Man that died was blonde.
Yeah, but you remember how, like, you know, when the intro, the guy talks about how, like, he did, like, questionable things, and, like, there's a scene where he's, like, dancing, and it's, like, pretty much the same dance that Tobey Maguire Spider-Man did in Spider-Man 3, where he's, like, infected by the Venom.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of nods to the original Spider-Man movie inside of this one. So, I mean, inside of Spider-Verse. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think it's there. I think they can put it together, and plus we have like during the trailer, there's a bunch of little Easter eggs that were thrown around. Like we might see Spider Woman in there. Spider Woman, yeah.
Yes.
There's gonna be Indian Spider-Man. There's gonna be Spider Moon. Or no, no. There's gonna be the China. Is it Chinese or Japanese version of Spider-Man? The one that has the fucking mech.
Oh, I think that's the Japanese one. I think.
Yeah. So I mean, there was a lot of little Easter eggs in that, and like you know, there's the possibility is there. And plus, we have Morpheus coming out, so we can do with the whole what is like the spider vampire guys who are like looking for the spider people to be able to suck out their powers from like the comics. So I mean, it's anything is possible. They can go any way they want, to be honest. But I don't know. I thought the trailer was fucking dope.
I'm down with it. Big shout out to Poe Dameron. I think he's playing the voice for Miguel O'Hara, Spidey 2099. Yeah, so that was really cool to see.
Looking forward to seeing that. He's doing like a lot of Marvel things. You know, he's doing that, and he's also doing Moon Knight. And there's another one too. What the fuck else did he do?
Wasn't he in Dune? I thought he was in Dune.
No,
right?
I'm talking about Marvel.
Oh, I don't know.
He did like he did Marvel. Oh, it was Apocalypse. Jesus Christ, come on, man.
Oh yeah.
Which was not. I mean, it's not a great movie, but you know.
I refuse to call him anything but Poe Dameron. That's just
He was great in Dune, though. Did y'all watch Dune?
I still need to see that shit. God damn it.
It's literally one of the greatest sci-fi movies of this generation, easily. Like it was one of the greatest sci-fi movies of like recent memory.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did watch it again because honestly I wasn't watching it full-heartedly, and I felt like some stuff probably went over my head. For Doom.
Yeah.
Dune.
No, I get it. It's one of the ones that. So I think that we're all used to. If you're watching something at home, we're used to doing other things as we're watching anything, and Dune is not one of those sorts of shows that are movies that you can like be on your phone and expect to absorb the information that's coming in. It's not, because they condense a pretty long book into a movie, and they condense it. It's even still going to be in 2 movies, and it's a single book. So yeah, but it's like a lot of information that they're still condensing down, and there's like stuff that you're not going to pick up on if you're not actually watching it, because if you're just listening and not absorbing it, like you're not gonna get it, because there's like a lot of political shit.
Okay.
And like a lot of like not even geopolitics, it's like universal politics that happen that they explain in the very beginning, and that people are just like, well why is this house taking over for this house? But they explain it in the very beginning, like why they're doing
Pay
it.
attention.
You gotta pay attention. Yeah.
I kept waiting for somebody to come around with some fucking seasoning salt, because they kept talking about spices and shit. I was like, we're fucking lost it.
Right in the beginning, just think of spices, gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, basically all it is.
There you go.
It's space fuel.
Even a lot of the stuff with colonialism and the New World and all that. I mean, a lot of that stuff was about spices as well. Obviously, you know.
And that was one of the things that these stupid fucking critics of movies and people that are like self-critics, they think that they're like really fucking clever about shit, and they're like, oh well, this movie is so, you know, European colonialism, and they don't even understand that the person that wrote the book, it's literally his critique of colonialism. That's the reason why he wrote it the way that it is, because it's showing how colonialism is fucked up. It's not some fucking guy that is putting colonialism on a platform. They're showing that, hey, a indigenous class or group can rise up and overthrow the colonials, and what the colonials are doing is wrong. But these dumbasses, this is why I can't stand this, like, this woke movement. That's why I don't like to even say that I'm woke at all, because a lot of these stupid motherfuckers that say that they're woke, they get to the, like, oh, I'm woke, and then they just put everything, like, they don't do any more research. I'm woke and we're good. Like, I understand everything, I'm good. But you don't understand it, like, at all. You need to do, like, a lot more research. It's not just that you understood that or read about the atrocities that were done to the natives or Africans or X whatever group that were colonialized. You need to really do a deep dive into what they went through and understand it and actually empathize. If you don't empathize with those people, then you don't fucking get it. And most people, a lot of white people, unfortunately, that say that they're woke, they don't empathize with shit. They're just like, oh, I get it. And the same thing happened with this fucking movie.
You should be like, look, you're not woke. You're fucking sleepwalking. Like, if you don't understand the full fucking story, then yeah, you're still fucking sleeping.
Well, and I still need to see Dune. I definitely will try to do that before. It's still on HBO Max, right?
No, it was only for a month, man.
Shit.
Yeah.
I missed the boat.
Now you gotta wait. Now you gotta wait a little bit longer for it to drop when it's free. Well, it was free on HBO Max, so you should have watched it, dumbass. You already paid for it.
Yeah, I mean, I look. I don't know what was going on. I missed it. But I'll definitely watch it at some point. Yeah, but if you're not going to pay attention to a movie, and some movies do require more than one viewing or really careful paying attention to everything that's said. That's why I love watching stuff at home with the subtitles on, English subtitles, even though it's in English.
What the fuck?
The hell?
Uh-oh. You want to tell everybody what's going on?
Yeah, sorry. It said that our call ends in 10 minutes. Upgrade our worker space to... Wait. Oh, okay. I think I know shit. Okay. Give me... We can keep talking, but I have to do this.
Okay. I hit X on that shit.
Side, so hold on. Well, sorry, we're going to go to a logo for a minute as I put in payment info because I had to change my... One of my cars got hacked. And my bank caught it. And they sent me a new card, so now I have to do the fucking annoying thing. We have to, go through everything and
What sucks about that is when you fucking forget what you have automatic bill pay on and stuff, and like if a company tries to charge that old card, they're like, oh well, it didn't go through, so we're charging you $25 fucking fee. It's like, are you fucking serious? The car was goddamn stolen. Just waive the fee. Let's just go back to being fucking normal, whatever. But
yeah,
it's just annoying. But back to Into the Spiderverse Part 2 across different Spider-Verses. We went on a little bit of a, not a tangent, but like, I mean...
we went off. Yeah, we went off left or right.
So what's your guys' take on the actual trailer?
Be right back. I gotta find my fucking card.
Dude, I'm hyped, man. Look, here's the thing. Into the Spider-Verse 1 was a gem of a fucking movie. It was probably one of the best animated movies of all time, and just one of the best comic book movies of all time. It was fun, had a great soundtrack, everything about the themes, everything about the actual frame rates and the colors, and all of it fucking worked, man. It's one of those, my favorite movies to rewatch, like period, point blank. And so I trust Sony Animation. I feel like they're probably going to knock it out of the park again, as long as they don't rush things. And I'm already sold. And then when you talk about more Spider-Man 2099 that needs love, definitely needs some more love and whatnot. And then you, of course, talk about more Miles. This is after we got the PS5 Miles game. Mm-hmm. So Miles is on a huge trajectory right now. He's, arguably one of the biggest stars in Marvel. I'm just fucking down, man. I want to see all that this has to offer. And then the other thing, a lot of people don't realize the Spider-Verse big ass trade paperback that Marvel put out a few years ago, which was a collection of the Spider-Verse story. It's so intricate, it's so complicated. There's so many Spider characters that we didn't get a chance to see in Into the Spider-Verse Part 1, that I think we're going to get a chance to really explore in this one. So hold on to your seats, hold on to your butts, as Samuel L. Jackson said in Jurassic Park. We're going to see this. Go ahead.
Do you know, now that I think about it, there's not many like comic book characters that have as many, I guess, variants as Spider-Man. I mean, like,
oh yeah,
like thinking of like Batman, Superman. I mean, they have like maybe a couple, a handful, but Spider-Man, like, you got all different kind of universes, and like, it's just such a cool character that, you know, it can span all these different universes, and like, you can pick up the comic and just, you know Spider-Man's gonna do some fucking cool ass shit. He's gonna be the underdog who's gonna come out of nowhere and be able to win at the end. It's constantly it's the gameplay for fucking Spider-Man. I think that's why it's such a loved character, because he's just an everyday man. He doesn't have millions of dollars. He just got bit by a spider, got some powers, and his uncle was like, hey, with great power comes great responsibility, and that's the motto of his fucking life.
Dude, it's simplistic in some ways, but it's also extremely deep in terms of just how Spider-Man is just appealing to basically everybody, and he goes along with everybody. One of the things that I cringe about a little bit, I don't necessarily love him with the Avengers per se, but man, I love Spider-Man with the Fantastic Four. I love Spidey with Wolverine and some of the X-Men, and with Spidey with Hulk and Hulk solo. He goes so well with damn near everything. But you know, and then the other thing about him is he has great villains. Like, you could argue he and Batman have the best rogues gallery, you know what I mean, hands down. Now, who out of the two has the better? I think still Batman has the slight edge. But there's some really great Spidey villains out there, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, I'm always down for more of this. And I think we got to wait all the way till sometime in 2023 for this movie to drop, right?
I think it was summer of 2023. No, I think it's 2022 that we get
next year. Oh shit, my bad. Damn.
Let me make sure. Let me see. No Way Home. What's it? Across
the Spider-Verse Part 1.
Let's see. It drops October 7th of 2022. So we get next year, man. Yeah.
Less than a year, man. I'm fucking down.
About this shit. Well, what's kind of cool in the trailers too, that some people were pointing out, was that shit, what was it? Because when the last one ended, at the end of during the mid-credit scenes, we got to see Spidey 2099, and we get to see that I guess he has more control over transferring power, like going through the multiverse. But like, we get to see we see him and Miles fighting as they're jumping around through different universes, and it's like, okay, what the fuck is going on? Like, you know, what did Miles do? Did he go back in time and have sex with his grandma or something like that, and just change the whole time, like Barry Allen or like Marty McFly? But I'm really interested to see, why are they fighting? Like, what did Miles do? Because Miles is just a fucking kid. He just barely got his power, and now he's fighting some Spider-Man from another universe or another verse or whatever. I don't know. I'm super excited for this. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Plus, let's get in here. What do you think?
I want to know I want to know who's doing the soundtrack, because they better bring back Kendrick Lamar.
There you go.
You're talking about the Into the Spider-Verse too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. I've said it multiple times in this podcast, but when I watch that movie, I constantly think about, why do we have live action comic book movies? Like, seriously, it was so much more enjoyable watching Into the Spider-Verse. Don't get me wrong, like, I love the MCU, I love the whole Marvel, like the Avengers thing, like the whole build-up, it was great, but when I watched Into the Spider-Verse, when I saw the characters, I wasn't thinking like, oh, that's Robert Downey Jr. I saw him in, this other movie, or oh, this is Chris Evans, I saw him as, in this other movie, or oh, this is, whoever I saw in this movie. I saw literally the characters that I expected to see, pretty much perfectly drawn into the Spider-Verse. And yeah, some of the voices were, celebrity voices, but it didn't take me out of the experience of the movie. But in these other movies that are live action, it takes me out for just a second, just a little bit. But in the Spider-Verse, not at all. It was so much more enjoyable to like not think about that. It's like, this is just literally a comic book movie. It's a comic come to life on screen. And especially all like the little things they did that were like comic effects, like when they would hit certain things, they would do like the effect of like pow or whatever, but they're like really subtle. You know, in the spider tingling, like you do like the thing, you know, and you don't get that in the MCU live action movies, but in the Spider-Verse you get that. And there's a go ahead.
I was just gonna say, the other thing, I don't want to see too much about this. Like you've already sold me. You know what I mean on this trailer, because, and this is no shade to the new live action Spidey movie that's about to drop, but man, they can't help themselves by making announcement after announcement. I feel like we know damn near everybody was going to be in this. Literally, what was it, 2 days ago? It was like, hey, we've confirmed Charlie Cox from Daredevil is coming back, and possibly even in this movie.
Oh,
I thought that was the announcement.
That'd be cool.
But I mean, can we have some surprises? Goddammit!
You're going on the Stitch route. This is what
some surprises.
Yeah, no, I get it. His whole thing of like not watching, you know, a lot of trailers for shit that he wants to actually watch. Like I totally understand it. I totally get it. And there's a lot of advantages there of like really being surprised on like what you're watching. So if that's the route you want to go, I mean, definitely do it. But
it's hard to fucking do though.
It is. Like I'm probably there with you. Like I don't want to have too many surprises with the actual the story they're gonna tell.
Yeah.
I saw Miguel, and I'm like, I'm all in. Like I was already all in anyway. Like the fucking studio can do no wrong to me at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, they did that movie. They did Mitchells versus the Machines.
Yep.
And that movie was excellent. If y'all haven't watched that on Netflix, fucking correct that. And if you don't have Netflix, just get Netflix for a month. Watch that. And watch a bunch of other there's a lot of good shit on Netflix. So, yeah.
Dude, like, I'll always go back to this. Seeing Darth Vader in Rogue One was a surprise, man. I was like, oh shit, they brought Vader back, and he was fucking deadly and force choking and swinging a lightsaber and doing all that fun shit. And then to use another Star Wars example, in season 2 for The Mandalorian, when they brought Luke back at the end, I was like, oh shit, this is a great surprise. Like when you're able to successfully have somebody in a story that you're watching and caring about, and then it's like this oh shit moment, I think that's even more fun. You know what I mean? Like keep some shit under your hat.
Was Boba Fett and oh god, what was Star Wars? What was Vader's prince? Ahsoka. They were announced. That was announced already, right? Because we already knew that Rosario Dawson was going to play her.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. But nobody had leaked that Mark Hamill was about to come. I was like, what the fuck? That still got me. So
yeah, it's good because I know with the Spider-Man No Way Home, they try to keep it on the wraps, but that shit being leaked here and there. Like even when you watch a trailer, like there's a bunch of scenes where it's like, okay, this has been edited. Like the character's been edited out of the movie.
Well, and here's the thing too. It was always going to be a big blockbuster movie. Like you already had people's interest and whatnot. I don't think the additional releases, some leaks, but some by the studio, necessarily help per se. I think it's more about the fact that, you know, y'all can't keep shit under wraps, even with NDAs and even with, you know what I mean, all the tight security of a multi-billion-dollar film and whatnot. So, you know, and again, it's no shade. I'll see it, you know what I mean? I'll see it for myself. But I think you're going to get a lot of people to see it any goddamn way. And I'd rather not know about William Dafoe. You know what I mean? I'd rather not know about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and now Charlie Cox. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like, come on.
Well, you know what's interesting is that probably one of the biggest like celebrity, like I guess it wasn't really a celebrity thing, but in Tropical Thunder, that Tom Cruise was in it. Like that shit blew my fucking mind. Like I was like, wait, Tom Cruise is in this, and he's fucking like a fat like agent. Like that shit was so fucking funny. But like, yeah, it's cool when some shit are on the wraps, and you don't see it until the fucking movie drops. It's like, holy shit, like, wow, my fucking mind is blown. I wasn't expecting this, but I'm getting it, and I love all of it.
Yep. Totally down for it. But at the same time, it's awesome because we all liked Charlie Cox's Daredevil. It's awesome that he's going to be in either MCU movies and or TV series or whatever they're going to do with him. Good for him. He put his heart and soul into that fucking role. And I hope that they bring back Kingpin in some way or shape or form or whatever as well. I liked a lot of those fucking characters. They were fucking awesome. So right on.
I love Jessica Jones. Like, I really hope that Kristen Ritter, I think that's her name. Ritter. Yeah. I hope she can reprise that role because I don't know why, but that character did something for me. But a lot of the characters, like Luke Cage was really good. Iron Fist was horrible, but Luke Cage was still good. I mean, fucking Shang-Chi made up for like the kung fu shit. Like, it was, Luke Cage, not Luke Cage. Yeah, Iron Fist was just it was really bad. Like, they gotta make sure that guy doesn't come back. I mean, I guess he was an okay actor, but it's the directing and fight scenes where it's
his fighting choreography. Like, I get it, it's difficult, but I don't put it on the actor. I put it on the choreography team because they put together all those fight scenes. So
you know what? Now this may or may not be true, but I heard or read somewhere that the fight choreographers were embarrassed, obviously with the show. But they put some of that heat back on him of not even showing up to practice, you know what I mean? Or showing up for the training and putting all his effort into it. So, I don't know.
That sounds familiar.
So, it is what it is.
Also with the writing, too, like, it's something that happened in Spider-Man Far From Home or whatever. Basically, like, he just kept telling everybody his fucking secret identity, like, hey, I'm the Iron Fist, I'm the Iron Fist. Like, everywhere you were, I'm the fucking Iron Fist, I'm the Iron Fist. Or like in Spider-Man Homecoming, like, you're sitting inside of a fucking bar in your superhero costume, wearing no fucking mask, with all these fucking strangers around you. That shit bugged the fuck. Like, not every Spider-Man movie, but every one of Tom Holland's Spider-Man movie, there's always something that fucking irritates the shit out of me. The first one was that goddamn boat. When he splits the boat in half, boat floats with fucking buoyancy. That shit would have sank like the goddamn Titanic, like a goddamn stone. But somehow they would put it back together and continue to float. Like, get the fuck out of here. Every time I think of that, it just fucking irks the shit out of me.
Yeah, damn.
And Blue is correct. If you split a boat in half, it definitely would sink. Like, it's made out of metal. So, and I've been on a boat made out of metal.
Like, if you watch the video, the water's fucking rising. The water should have rose a whole lot fucking faster than that. That shit should have sunk like a goddamn rock. Like a metal boat.
Movie's gonna movie.
Yeah.
I mean, also he's a superhero that is doing superhero shit. So we already suspend our disbelief.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Fuck that. That's physics.
The other one I will say, dude, I'm fucking cautiously optimistic, but deep down I'm really fucking hyped for this Matrix movie.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Dude, I got like, I don't know, like butterflies and shit when I saw that trailer for that shit. I was like, God damn, this is giving me 1999 cyberpunk kind of nostalgia, goddamn it. I need this.
What's cool with the recent trailer that dropped was that they take clips from like the original one, like, you know, Neil sees Trinity leaves the restaurant and like it just triggers like a memory of his, and it's like, fuck man, like all these different kind of crazy shit that is happening. It's like, just I don't know if it's maybe a nostalgia or it's like, you know, I want more to the story of the Matrix and like to see like exactly what happened after Mr. Smith fucked up the whole fucking thing.
You want to hear my hot take?
What you got?
This is my theory about the Matrix Resurrections. Is that we already know that they are stuck in a loop of events. So they already explained in the previous movies, if y'all remember, go back and watch the movies, that they will only do the Matrix in a certain time period. It's in like the 90s. And then there's going to be a catastrophic downfall of the Matrix, and they do it all over again. and they let the humans rebuild their society outside of the Matrix, and then they know exactly where they are, and they go and destroy them, and they know the one's going to be there, and they're going to destroy them, and it's going to start the Matrix all over again. So what I'm fairly certain is going to happen is that the vast majority of people that are in the Matrix are just recycled people. So they keep regenerating the same fucking people over and over again in the Matrix, because you only have so much genetic material. Because if you had an apocalypse and everybody died and people aren't fucking naturally, then having like a bunch of like, unless they're paying super attention to, you know, genetic diversity, you're gonna end up with the same fucking combinations of people over and over again. And why would you, if you're...
So everybody's a fucking clone?
Yeah, if you're a robot, like, why would you give a fuck? Like, all you care about is the warm bodies. So...
I like that. I like that theory all the way around. The one thing I will say, because I rewatched the first Matrix fairly recently with my kids, it's comical to me, and I'm not a huge tech guy, so you guys know way better than me, but like the whole thing of you gotta find a analog phone or whatever, otherwise you can't log in or can't go online, or can't, you know. I think that's, unless you put it in the 90s, or you know what I mean, it's gonna seem weird to modern audiences.
No, it's, so hold on, Prodigy. No, it's not, because in our lifetimes we went from having actual save points in games to no save points in games.
Yeah.
So, like, literally, like, in our lifetime, we had games in, like, the 90s and throughout the 2000s. It's a recent thing of autosaves, okay? Well, you used to have to, like, literally go to a point to save your game. So... Yeah,
but what I'm saying, though, is literally most of the movie, the first one, go back and watch it, they're looking for a payphone. You know what I mean? Like, and so many people are used to now every man, woman, and child basically having a cell phone in their pocket. That's the, you know.
But even then, even in the movie, they still had cell phones.
Yeah, they definitely did. It's just, it's rarer for everybody to have one in 1999 than it is like right now. And then the cell phone itself wasn't able to help you get in and out. You know what I mean? You had to find like a hard line, remember?
Yeah,
like,
it also lends to the whole, like, the loop thing of, like, they have to have it in this certain time period, because this is when things were, like, easier to, like, because obviously if you had the Matrix and then you had technology of VR, like, that would put a fucking huge strain on the Matrix, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, the widespread internet and, like, all these other things. So, like, it's super easy if they write it correctly. It's super easy to explain all this shit away.
Mm-hmm.
Pod 300's been in VR for fucking 300 hours, and all he's doing is watching porn.
VR is like, it's so crazy right now, though. We're at this precipice of, like, first of all, VR, and then, like, replacing parts of our bodies with, like, cybernetic things, and, like, implanting machines into our body, and people just, they don't get it. Like, it's when I reflect on my life, I get very sad that I'm probably gonna fucking die just before literal immortality on some level. But also the immortality of the first people are gonna get into is probably horrific. So Oblivion will probably be okay in that aspect, because like, what if you're just stuck in a machine and it's just fucking boring bullshit?
Never forget that on Darling in the Franxx, they were able to be basically immortal, but they had no sexual desires or genitalia, because what's the fucking point of genitalia? It's to reproduce and live forever through your children and your children's children. And I was like, whoa, it's an interesting concept, but you don't need genitalia for the most part if you're talking about living forever from an evolutionary standpoint. Obviously, everybody still wants to fuck, but... There you go.
Well, you should.
Speaking of Darling, speaking of Darling in the Franxx, I actually never finished that anime, but I saw like the end clip about why there's was it 00? 000?
02.
02, yeah. I know 0 something. But yeah, I saw her backstory. I was like, fuck, I need to go back and watch this because like, holy shit, this was sad.
Mm-hmm.
I felt bad for her. And it was just a quick little, I don't know, like 1 or 2 minute snippet. It's like, fuck.
Yep, man.
What have I not done with my life?
But also, let's just be honest, okay? Like, now that I'm older, Darling and Franks is super pervy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And like, yeah, we knew it was pervy. Like, while I was watching, I was like, it's kind of pervy, but it's also understanding that they're kids and it's pervy makes it like extra weird. So I kind of don't want to go back and watch it, only because I know that like they were like I think they were like 13 or 14 or something like that.
Something like that.
And like having like a girl in the doggy style position and the guy, the boy being in like the dominant position, holding the controls. It's fucking pervy and gross. Same thing like if you go back and watch Evangelion.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You know, it's fucking it gets gross in when you go back and like really think about it. So yeah,
I went back and I was just gonna say like I went back and was watching Trigon, and like Vast Stampede was like a goddamn fucking perv. Like it was hero saving people's life, but he was like a perv. It's like a lot of anime characters, like the heroes that way, like they're kind of on the pervy side. Like even like a newer anime, like if you look at Seven Deadly Sins, that's on Netflix. Like the main badass hero guy, super fucking perv.
I can handle the comedic effect when it's 14 high school, which almost all, not all, but almost all animes are high school characters, and it's another high school age, like same age, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, it is what it is. When you get into adult and high school, that's when I'm like, nope, shut this whole thing the fuck down. Fuck all of this.
Well, it's one of the reasons why I liked Jiraiya from Naruto. Yeah, he was pervy as fuck, but he was only pervy for adults.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's what made it like comical, especially because the kids didn't understand. It was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, why are you so fucking gross?
Yeah.
And then like having you know, Kakashi like being a super fan of Jiraiya's like books of like picking up women. It was like it's so hilarious.
It was funny.
Yeah, and like you never see him like hitting on anybody. Like
no, he does. Especially with what's her name?
He did?
Yeah. With what the fuck's her name?
Big titty.
Yeah, big titty. That's all I was gonna say. I was like, how did I explain it a different way? Thanks, Prodigy.
Like Kakashi hit on her. No, I'm talking about Kakashi. So Kakashi, I know.
Yeah, Kakashi.
I know Kakashi was. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Because Kakashi was a huge fan of Pervy Sage's books and stuff like that. But you would never see him hit on any girls. He was always just strictly about the books. But yeah, Jiraiya was like, you know, I need to go into this girl's fucking steam rooms to do fucking research.
Honestly, I'm just thinking about the whole situation. I think that one of the main reasons why Kakashi was such a huge fan of those books is because he knew that we didn't know at the time who wrote it. And that's why he was into the books.
Yeah, there you go.
But when you when I was first watching it, I was just like, why is he so into these books? But then he was literally reading the books of one of the greatest ninjas of all time.
There you go.
So I think that's one of the reasons why he was so into those books.
Plus, I wonder if he like pervy shit. You know he likes some pervy shit too.
But
He's closet freak. I mean, he kept the mask on.
Well, the other thing is, like, okay, there's obviously anime tropes. You know what I mean? We all are aware of them and whatnot. But, like, some of them are just fucking hilarious. I saw some people complaining literally today, and this is not a spoiler or whatever, but Demon Slayer Season 2 is, I guess, out in the wild. And so one of the main characters is, you got a scene with him, and he's into polygamy or whatever, and he's got like 3 or 4 wives or whatever. People are all aghast. And I was like, what? Like, that's an anime trope of, you know, harem animes that you've seen for 20 years.
It's a fucking trope for like a lot of, like, a few religions.
Well, of course. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, to me, you can't tell me that you're a fan of anime and have never seen a harem or polygamy or what? Like, what? What are we talking about? Like, get the fuck out of here.
As long as it's consensual, I have no problem. Like, if you want to have multiple wives and your wives are fucking fine with you have multiple wives, and do you, as long as, you know, you're not hurting somebody else and it's not consensual. So
yeah.
Because I don't like pain. I'm just saying.
Yeah, man. Let me stick with anime for just a quick second. I did watch, I don't know, maybe about 8 or 9 episodes. There's brand new JoJo. You know I'm a big JoJo fan. It's on Netflix, and it's Stone Ocean. So they got Jolene Cujo as the star this time. So far, so good on basically everything. My one slight JoJo complaint is the music's not as awesome as it was for Golden Wind.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah,
I still remember
it's hard to surpass that because I lost my fucking mind when I saw them playing Jodeci Freaking You at the end. I was like, that's not an anime outro. That's like 1990s, R&B.
It was like any of their, their outro. So I remember like when I first started watching JoJo, like the super deep bass like outro. I think it was like from like a song. That was from like
it's a roundabout by Yes.
Yeah, so like all their like music is from super, Americanized or European like music. So like the fact that they chose Jodeci for a song, I mean like that's great. Like I love that anime has so many throwbacks to American culture, and it's like a back and forth give and take,
Yeah.
But people don't people that are outside the anime sphere, they don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like at all. They think of Japan as like this like super conservative like country, and they have like they're conservative, but they also have this huge culture of super perverted shit. Like you can buy dirty panties in a fucking what do you call them?
Vending machine.
Yeah,
vending machine.
And they love, at least some of them, a lot of them probably, according to anime anyway, love American culture. And and I think that especially as like people of African descent, some folks that are not anime fans are too critical of anime when it comes to like black people, because they'll say like, oh, this character is super like racist or whatever, but they don't understand that like for Japan, like they're not doing it in a racist manner. Like they're showing their appreciation for the culture. You know what I mean? Like because when it comes to like J-pop and like shit like that, it's all like it's huge throwbacks. Like everything that I've seen. And some of it is like stereotypical, but that's like what it's because they're absorbing it through the filter of America, like not from Africa, and they're doing it in like what they believe is a respectful manner. So that's why anytime I see, like when I saw Octopops from Naruto, and he's always rapping, you know what I mean? And it's like at first like, well, that's fucking weird, but then I think about like probably the only thing that they've seen in Japan is like a black dude rapping. Like, there's not a lot of black people in fucking Japan.
Yep.
There's just not. So they don't have a history.
And we're always rapping.
They don't have a history of enslaving black people in Japan. So when you think about like what might seem stereotypical in an American view, just understand that they don't have the historical context of like slavery and oppression and all the shit that comes along with being an African American. So give them a little bit of fucking slack when it comes to shit like that, because it's a filter through America.
Dude, one of the most awesome, and I've mentioned it a million times on this show, it's by your boy Shinichiro. Michiko and Hatchin was a straight up gangster ass anime all about a Brazilian black woman that's just doing gangster shit the whole fucking time. And I mean, like, set it off gangster shit. And it was just fucking awesome all the way around, and a whole bunch of kicking ass and all that other stuff. There's been some incredible black characters in anime, and folks who don't appreciate it, fuck them. Go ahead, Blue.
Dude, I was gonna say for that anime, I wasn't ready. Like I wasn't ready for fucking the music, the goddamn act, the animation style. Like it was just overall just a fucking dope ass fucking anime. And like, is there gonna be a season 2 of that, or was that like a one and done type anime?
I think it's a one and done.
Of what?
Of Michiko.
Yeah, so Shinichiro Watanabe is notorious for doing only a single season for basically everything he's ever done. Michiko Hatchin, Samurai Champloo, Cowboy Bebop, And what was the one with
The Outlaw?
the girls that were like artists?
Carol and Tuesday.
Carol and Tuesday. Thank you very much. I knew you had it on the tip of your tongue. That was on Netflix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he is notorious for doing just a single season, but it's okay because I think all of his work I love, and I'm fine with him just doing a single season. Like if that's the story you want to tell, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, look, we only got one season of the brilliant interspecies reviewers, and so you know what I mean. Sometimes that happens.
Also, High School of the fucking Dead, like
That was a good one.
God,
Oh,
that was the anime with the biggest letdown that we didn't get season 2 because, damn.
If y'all have not watched High School of the Dead, let me just explain one of the greatest anime shots are like of all time. Okay, it's literally, you'll probably already know what I'm gonna talk about, but
Yep.
it's literally a woman with gigantic anime titties that falls down and there's zombies coming at them, and there's a guy who's super timid, and the girl that fell down, she has a gun. I'm pretty sure it's a sniper rifle, might have been a shotgun, pretty sure sniper rifle.
It's not rifle.
She can't get to it in time, and he falls down with her, grabs the gun, shoots a fucking round, ashes on the ground with her giant anime titties, and when he shoots, her titties jiggle, and this. Oh, I'm just real quick. Yeah, I understand it's a high school thing, but I'm still gonna explain the scene.
Yep.
Her titties jiggle as he shoots, and as he shoots, the fucking bullet is going through the air. And there's another woman who's a super melee fighter. She's literally fucking slicing zombies up with a fucking sword, and she dodges, and her titties fucking part. Like one goes up, one goes down, and the bullet goes between her fucking also giant anime titties to fucking brain a zombie.
Love it. Love it.
Go watch that fucking show.
Yes.
So in the chat right now, I posted that scene that Kronos was just talking about. So if you want to look up High School of the Dead in a nutshell. That's the name of the episode.
That was from memory. I could have been wrong. That's all from pure memory.
Yeah, no, you captured it, man. I've seen it too many times.
Yeah, we used to watch it at my old place in Union City. Remember, we used to have like watching parties. One of the things that K-Mac did. This is like super early on in me and K-Mac's like relationship. Probably not even a year in, and she's an artist, and she literally drew one of the characters from High School of the Dead, and that was one of the prizes for the white elephant gift or something like that. Mm-hmm. I ended up getting it. I made sure I was going to get it because it was fucking great. It's somewhere in stores right now, but I'm going to find it and probably put it in the background somewhere.
Before I forget, we were talking about Naruto for a quick second. Lady Tsunade, who was the one yeah, there you go, big titty. Got to put some respect on her name. Go ahead.
Got to put some respect on her titties. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking for High School of the Dead. There's a scene where one of the main guys and the homegirl who's got the katana doing flips and stuff like that. Like, there's a scene where they get separated from the group, and I guess they're just hanging out, and they end up at some fucking dojo, and then they don't show what happens. But they end up fucking. Like, it's clear because, like, you know, they're like, the two are getting really close, and her skirt is ripped or whatever, and like the guy's kind of looking at her, and he falls back, and they're on top of each other, and then it just cuts away, and like there's some like butterflies go or some birds go flying and stuff like that. The next part is them like, you know, kind of messing with their clothes and like trying to get back to the group. It's like, did they just fuck? Like, I need that scene. Like,
yep.
Let me Google it and see if I can find that episode.
Oh, hey, real quick too. Going back to JoJo for a hot second. I saw something that pissed me off. I think it was Polygon or some other really major news outlet that was saying this.
But, you know.
Oh my God, they were praising Stone Ocean, which rightly so, really good show, a really good JoJo series. But they were saying, you don't have to start from the beginning. Just start at Stone Ocean. Motherfucker, that's part 6. You're not going to understand anything about stands or the Joestar legacy or like that tattoo of the pink star on the shoulder. You're not going to understand a goddamn thing or why Jotaro, her father, was with the Speedwagon Foundation and marine biology. You're not going to understand shit.
The anime is not Final Fantasy.
No.
Like, what the fuck?
You don't start at part 6 on almost anything, but certainly not for JoJo. Get the fuck out of here.
That is disrespectful
I nearly
to the
did.
creators of the show.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of here.
Hold on.
You can't do
Okay. That being said, I gotta say it will at minimum like at least get new viewers to the show.
Yeah.
So that is
For
good.
sure.
However, the person that said that 100% was not thinking that.
Yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
a person that is not thinking about the words that are coming out of their mouth.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
you can just go ahead and just watch it in the middle of the end of a story arc, maybe. You know, it's just I'm trying to think of it in like in video game terms. Like what game it'd be like. I'm thinking like a long series. Think of a long series of games that you could just pick up and play without any context of the previous games.
I mean, games are a little bit different because you
Yeah.
can sort of appreciate some of the gameplay, just the pure gameplay.
Yeah.
But for anime series, like if you started on like let's say the Pain arc for Naruto Shippuden out of
that's a
nowhere,
better one, yeah.
you're gonna be like, what the fuck is going on with this ninja show?
Yeah. You're like, why can't he do all these things?
Yeah, exactly.
How did Naruto just all of a sudden appear with fucking 3 giant ass frogs?
Yeah.
Like, be fucking
Like,
yeah,
Just with his
that's a
eye
better
change
example,
colors.
yeah.
None of that's gonna make fucking sense, man. It just is what it is.
Kind of jump back to High School of the Dead. So kind of one of the reasons why we did season 2 is because the original author, the guy who wrote the comics, passed away. Like I remember that being part of the story, but kind of going. I watched the scene that Kronos was talking about, and man, you missed out on a whole bunch of other shit that happened in that scene. It's like literally the guy, like he ran out of ammunition for the sniper rifle that he's using, and he goes to hug one of the homegirl, and is like, oh, you know, at least I'm like I get to see you, whatever, blah blah. And he finds a round on her, like she has like a strap, and she has a clip in the back.
Yeah.
And he goes to hug her, and he finds it. He's like, oh shit, this isn't the end. And he literally like throws her down onto the ground, snapping the clip, and uses her as like kind of a tripod or to keep the sniper rifle steady.
Oh, hold on, we'll just call it a tit pod. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, it's basically it was too hard. But so he's like, I don't know how many rounds were in the clip, but like he's blasting, like taking out zombies, and like the shockwave of the gun is jiggling homegirl's boobs that he's using as a tit pod, and they're just like the shockwaves are just shaking them, right? And Kronos mentioned how the bullet, like he shot the bullet toward one zombie, and homegirl, just fucking the one with the katana, is doing all kind of flips and tricks. And he talked about how like the bullet goes between the boobs. And the physics of these boobs dodging this bullet, it doesn't make any fucking sense, because literally the bullet's going toward. Okay, so say it's coming from the right to left. The right boob literally goes down, then back up, then the bullet passes while the left titty goes down, up, and back down again before the bullet comes back. Like that titty should have been blown off. Like there's no way that should have happened. But he shot twice. There's 2 bullets that he shot. The first bullet is a shot that's like, okay, because she's doing like she's jumping up in the air, and it goes between her skirt. And it's not, you don't see like a side shot of the bullet going between it. You're on a camera. The cameraman is on the ground looking up at this bullet goes between this girl's skirt, and even the clip I showed, like it was blurred out. Like, and another thing with the High School of the Dead, the girls all wear like fucking lingerie. Like nobody's wearing like granny panties or any of that. These are all Victoria's Secrets, like catalog fucking underwear that these girls are wearing. Like even the nurse, because I remember the nurse having like mega milks in that fucking anime. But like
Mega milks mean tickle bitties.
Yeah, it does. I want to go back and watch this again, because right now you can watch it on Hulu, you can watch it on Crunchyroll, and it's on Funimation. So if you have any of those accounts, go check it out, because you're doing yourself a huge fan service.
But also,
Yeah, man.
I'll
Long live fan
remind,
service.
because somebody's gonna be like, well, Cronus, you just said it's kind of gross if it's a high school. Yeah, I'll say it again. It's still kind of gross. It is gross. if you think about it in a context of actual high school students, it's extremely gross to think about it in that context of like watching titties of high school kids titties jiggle. So yeah.
I get you. But man, fan service in anime, man, long live it. I never wanted to necessarily go away or get westernized. Like, there's something hilarious, and you find it in so many. The other series that I love is Food Wars. It has a bunch of it, and Prison School. Oh my god.
There's a laundry list of stuff we can talk about.
Oh my god! All right, where else we going, guys?
Oh, real quick, the fucking I got this. I don't want to even show the name of this thing that I'm drinking. It's fucking gross, and I'm just like powering through it. It is a Spanish cedar and tea leaf cider, and it's fucking gross.
Dude, I'm gonna go grab it real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna shout out the name of the brewery that made this, but these things do not belong together.
That sounds like a shitty combination.
Yeah, I'll read what it says on the actual can. It's a golden triple aged in Spanish cedar wood spirals and Asheville Tea Company, Asheville Gray tea leaves, and so these things do not go together great. I mean, I can drink it. I'm not gonna throw it out without drinking it, but it is not pleasant. It's not pleasant, and it's 8% alcohol, 8.3% alcohol. But this is one of the most unpleasant things that I've drank in a while.
God damn.
Yeah.
Shit.
If you go back and rewind this podcast of when I first stopped drinking this thing right here, I'm picking up like a large cup that I usually drink out of, and when I first started drinking out of this cup, which is the Black is Beautiful by I forget the name of the company. I think it's 17% Drip, which is a great company, by the way. It's black owned. They make glassware for beers and shit. But when I picked this up,
is that a wine glass?
It's not a wine glass. It's a beer glass. It's their latest Black is Beautiful one.
Oh, cool! Because I know the one that you gracious donated to us. It's one with a stem. So I was like, oh shit! I didn't know they made a wine glass too.
Yeah, same company. But when I first picked up this cup and drank it, look at my face. So yeah, that'll. But I'm gonna finish it just a little bit.
I don't think. Well, who's the guy that does the timestamp for us? I can't think what his username is for us. Devil Tank. Yeah, I don't think he watched the videos to get like a timestamp to add that to the list of when you first drink that, and then you have the stuck face.
I don't want him to do extra work, so don't.
No.
But the viewers and listeners, the viewers only, you can rewind it. It was pretty early on, so yeah, I made a gross face, and yeah, it's not great.
Stank.
So I bought the cider recently, and the concept sounded good. This is a cocoa caramel apple cider. Caramel apple sounds good. I mean, a chocolate covered apple sounds. I mean, not to me, it's not that great, but I got this. I paid way too fucking much for a cider. It was I think the guy rung me up wrong, but it was $18 for 4 cans, which isn't unheard of. Like I paid like $10-12 for a fucking bottle of beer. Like some of the shit that you get, it can be really good. I was like, okay, this shit must be hella good if it's that fucking much. So I got it. I brought it home, and yeah, man, this was probably the hugest waste of money ever, and it's not good. Like, I'd rather drink fucking sparkling Martinelli. Like, it just wasn't doing it for me, Chief. And I've only had 2 of them out of the 4, and it's probably been like a good month or 2 since I bought this. Like, it's been sitting in the back of the refrigerator because I didn't want to fucking touch it. But I'm gonna open it up right now and see maybe it got better with age.
Yeah.
Holy shit! All right. Blue, I know you said maybe it was last week or the week prior, you're trying to get a little back into gaming, you want to get down on some co-oping, but obviously you got the wife, you got the kid, you got the grown man responsibilities. Are we going to see you jump on some Call of Duty or some goddamn Back 4 Blood or Borderlands or anything co-op wise coming up?
Well, man, I'm down. I mean, I have Borderlands 3, so I'm always down to jump up on that. But just let me know which one would you guys prefer me to play with you guys, with fucking with Call of Duties or the other game you mentioned? I can't get the fucking name you said.
Back 4 Blood is really good. I know I have it, and Old Ninja has it, and my boy Hobby has it, so we've been playing a little bit of that. Call of Duty Cold War Zombies, pretty much everybody has, including Stitch, Kronos for sure, and quite a few others. So I think that would be probably the best one for you to jump back in. I don't know anybody that's really down on playing the newest Call of Duty Vanguard all that much, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, if you're down for this weekend, I'd love to do that and switch it out a little bit. And then secondly, I know Old Ninja's playing a whole lot of it. Halo Infinite looks like it is going to be a killer. It's getting good reviews, and people tend to love it.
Yeah, I thought about the reviews, and it's getting like 8s and 9s for game reviews, and it's like, okay, like Xbox trying to have a good fucking exclusive game. I know Kronos probably would say the same goddamn thing, but yeah, I mean, I always had a good time with the Halo games. Like they're fun to play. I mean, I don't understand the massive fanning behind it, because the games were still very fucking short, but I guess it's all about the multiplayer. I think the multiplayer is the one thing I never got a chance to experience, but yeah, I mean, this one looks fun. It looks like a lot of fucking fun. What's your take on it? Have you seen any of the gameplay?
I've seen some of the gameplay. I'm always been Team PlayStation. I do not own an Xbox. I don't do any PC gaming or anything like that. But I'm also not a big old hater. You know what I mean? If something's good, something's good. More power to them. I think the competition is always great in terms of, between consoles and whatnot. So if they got a good game, they got a good game. And I know, like I said, Old Ninja has been twitching some of it out. So I'm down to watch people play. I'll jump on, Twitch and watch some additional gameplay or multiplayer and the campaign. I mean, it feels like it's back to the mid 2000s heyday of that franchise. So more power to them. And it also reminds me kind of like when Doom and Doom Eternal came back. You know what I mean? Like, if it's a good shooter and it's having a resurgence, that's fucking great for gaming. You know what I mean? It gets newer gamers in there, gets some of the old heads and nostalgia freaks to jump back on. So, right on. You know what I mean?
Is this game out yet? Like, it doesn't come out.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much out on. I don't know if it's just different modes like multiplayer or whatever. And then campaign, or maybe the campaign just dropped. I can't remember, but it's in different phases. But and then the other thing I wanted to talk to you about on the Sony side is they announced the Uncharted kind of bundle with like games 1 through 4 or something like that, and 4K and on the PS5 and all of that.
Oh shit, they did. I missed that one.
Yeah, the only thing that I was a little disappointed in, I guess they're not including any multiplayer on it. So I was like, what the fuck? Kronos, we were talking about this Uncharted bundle and Halo a little bit.
Okay, sorry. I'm in kind of some pain. I slipped on the way coming out here, and I almost popped my ankle, like really bad.
Oh shit!
What the fuck? Oh shit, man!
I'm fucking so old. Fuck!
God damn it!
Hold on, let me just explain something to you right now. Only because it has to do with like me and Prodigy. So it's kind of hilarious, but K-Mac is talking to Mishka right now. And, like, she was saying something about like 3 pregnancies, and I was just like, what are you talking about? Because obviously, Mishka is not pregnant for a 3rd time. Because, I mean, if she was, this would be a whole different conversation. Anyway, I was like, what are you talking about? And she's talking about how long the pandemic's been. And she said 21 months it has been this pandemic. That's 3 pregnancies, 9 months. And I was like, no, that's not 9 months, 3 times. And then she said something else. And I was like, she said it was 18. And I was like, no, that's not 18. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it was all funny. So like I was walking out of my house, I was thinking about like what she said, and I misstepped down my deck.
Oh.
And my ankle. So if y'all don't know, like my ankles are they're kind of fragile. I've broken both ankles at least once in my life, and so I'm very aware of like being careful like with where I step. And I've strengthened them and I've gotten them back. And one was like still broken. Like I've broken off my tibia into my ankle. That's the way it's gonna be for the rest of my life. I'm not gonna get it fixed because at this point it's fucking stupid. So yeah, I literally stepped down and almost popped my ankle again.
Good damn.
I was just like, took a second, and I was just like, "Fuck, let's not do this." So it feels like it's probably gonna be okay, but it's gonna be fucking sore as shit in the morning because I've been drinking.
You gonna ice it up? You gonna ice it up?
No, what are you talking about? I'm just gonna drink more. And
some testing on that.
it's future me problems. But you know what the interesting thing is that I'm at the point in my life now where the future me problems from years ago are now me problems.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when you talk about future me problems, eventually you get there.
What if?
And you got to deal with it.
What if future you comes back and start kicking your ass like, well, fuck, you should have just iced that goddamn thing.
And this is the problem.
Now I gotta amputate my knee.
So that future me, now me, 100% can go back to the previous me and definitely kill myself. And if I had a time machine, I would fucking beat the shit out of myself about that future me problems thing. Like, stop it. I'm me now. It hurts. Please stop it.
Yeah. I was getting a filling. What was it, like 2 weeks ago? And I thought the same thing. Like, God damn, I should have done a much better job from a dental standpoint, because I was like, this shit hurts worse than anything ever. You know, you're drilling into my skull.
Yeah. So honestly, when it comes to like dental issues, you know, it really helped me. So, I mean, I have broken teeth in my mouth. Well, I fixed them, but they're temporary teeth. I need to just do the whole Steve Harvey fucking TVT thing. But once I went keto, like all my teeth problems like went away. Because because people don't tell you fucking sugar they sort of tell you, but not in enough emphasis. But sugar really degrades your teeth. We're not supposed to eat sugar all the time. And once I went keto, I had literally zero like tooth soreness or tooth issues at all whatsoever. And most people don't even realize that sugar is just like destroying your teeth. Even though dentists tell you all the time, stop eating candy and shit. But nobody listens to them.
Yep.
And it's one of the very few professions that they're honest to get you to stop coming to them. Because dentists are one of the most depressed professions ever. That's probably why. But yeah, you should probably listen to them. Like, stop eating candy and shit all the time. Like, every now and again is fine, but if you're eating it constantly, you're just destroying your teeth. Because I'll explain to you like on layman's terms. But the main thing that breaks down sugar is your saliva.
Yep.
And that saliva is like, oh, we got sugar. Oh, it's in your teeth. Guess what? Your teeth are on the menu too. The sugar's on there. I'm gonna get the sugar because that's what I'm supposed to do to break it down, and it breaks down your teeth. So if you decide to eat like straight up sugar, you need to be aware that it's going to break your teeth down.
Yeah, and brush, floss, all mouthwash, do it all. I used to look at the people who would do that like in the middle of the day, like middle of the workday, a little crazy. Now I'm just like, nah, you're a smart motherfucker.
Yep.
Look at them, it's really crazy. At my job in the bathroom, they have fucking toothbrushes and fucking floss for people, and toothpaste. Like they have little packets of toothpaste that people can use for brushing their teeth, and they also got tampons. Which is fucking weird to see in a man's bathroom, but day and age, man, day and age.
Yeah, you confused me for a quick second, and then I got it. I was like, oh, yeah.
Let's talk about that for just a second. I know this is like sort of a huge left turn in whatever the fuck we're talking about. But
we're talking about Halo.
We're talking about Halo? Well, fuck it. We're talking about something else now. I guess. Because I think this is more important than Halo. because when it comes to the transgender issue, like y'all have heard me on the podcast before, I have certain issues with transgender things, but it's not that I don't want them to exist. It's only in like a very narrow situation, and even then, like I'm sort of like backtracking on a little bit when it comes to like a former man fighting a woman in like MMA, and like in any sort of fighting scenario, because no matter what you say to me, if you were a man for 18 plus years and then you became a woman, you still have the bone density or the more dense bone structure than a woman that was born a woman for her whole life. Was born a woman and wasn't one for her whole life. I don't think there's a lot of argument there. Like, there's just not. Even when you take estrogen, yes, it will eventually bring down your bone density, but it's still the way your body is built is still different, and there's mechanical advantages. That being said, I don't really give a fuck if you want to use the bathroom that I'm using, or a woman is using, or whatever. I don't really give a shit. And for dudes that say, dudes or women, I don't give a fuck, because it's both at this point in time, and it's the same sort of person that are ridiculous. They're saying, well, we don't want men in women's bathrooms. Guess what, motherfuckers? When my daughter has to use both my daughters, when they were young, one of them is still young, she's like 5, has to use the bathroom, it's just me with her, guess where I take her? I don't take her to the women's bathroom. I take her to the men's bathroom. And guess what? Not once has a single person ever even looked at her weird. She does her thing, we come out, we're good to go.
Yep.
If you have a child, what single person sends their child to the bathroom alone?
Yeah, that would be nuts. And my daughter, when it's just me with her, hates it. Hates going into the boys' bathroom, and I get it. Yeah. And I say, I'm sorry. It just is what it is. Your mom's not with us right now.
Sorry about all this piss on the ground and all the toilets.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You're going to have to come with me. I'm not comfortable quite yet with you just waltzing into the women's bathroom solo and, me just kind of waiting around or whatever. She's almost there. She's getting there age-wise, but not quite.
Real quick, put a pin in that, your thought process real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that I'm pretty sure every father, because everything you just said, 100% valid. But we're uncomfortable with sending our daughters anywhere alone.
Yeah.
So why would you force us to do that? Like, it's very fucking weird that people just totally overlook this. That you're worried about transgender people being in bathrooms, but the vast majority of fathers are extremely uncomfortable with sending their daughters into a woman's bathroom alone.
Yeah, and it's a woman's bathroom where there are other women in there.
Our perception is that it is not safe to go there alone. Yep. And it doesn't even come into our mind. I can ask Prodigy right now, honestly, do you think that there's going to be a man waiting for your daughter in a woman's bathroom? No, it's not even in our mind at all. No. The thing is that we're not there with them to help them when they need help in the bathroom.
Yeah. That, or I will say this. Not that I'm getting into the whole gender politics thing, but there also are some really abusive, terrible, random stranger people who happen to be women.
Yep.
who could be in the bathroom and wish my young daughter harm. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I need to be around. I'm her father. You know what I mean? Like that. Like, full stop. So there's that.
This is gonna be weird because it wasn't my child, but I was watching my 2-year-old niece, and her and I went to dinner. We didn't go on I took her to get food, and we ended up going to fucking we went to Cheesecake Factory. Anyway, so she said she had to go to the bathroom, and it's like,
that's what you said, right?
She wanted to go there.
No, you just
yes.
Okay, I got you, but you just the way you said it.
Oh yeah,
slurred. Well, but I got it.
Yeah, she had to go to the bathroom, and it's like, I'm not gonna send this 2-year-old kid into the women like. I don't know, we went to I took her into the men's restroom. She went into the stall. I stayed outside the door, and I told her if she needed help, just let me know. Like, I'm here for her. And it's like, I don't like. I'm not. I would have never let her go into the women's bathroom by herself. Like, I had to be there to assist in case she not fell in, but
Yeah. Something.
It's not even about her not knowing how to use the bathroom or anything. It was just basically being there to fucking protect her.
Yeah. And we know that as men, we don't want to go into a woman's bathroom because that would make other women uncomfortable with a man being in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Let's just be totally honest. But when it comes to transgender people, I understand your life is already difficult. Now I understand your life is already difficult.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I do not want to make it more difficult just because you're just trying to take a piss or a shit. What the fuck?
Yep.
And I think that people need to understand that. People are just literally trying to relieve themselves from waste. If you're just trying to put some weird red herring of, somebody might be a pervert, blah blah blah. But if you really thought that, then why do you take your kids to the bathroom of your gender?
Yeah.
Because that can still happen.
Of course. Well, let me also just say, again, I'm right there with you, Kronos. I don't care who's using what bathroom and whatnot. None of that bothers me. What I will say, and this happens pretty often in San Francisco and some other cities, I fucking hate the unisex bathrooms that are multi-stall and shit. Because here's the thing, and all guys know this. At any sporting event or, a certain concert venue or whatever, the guy's bathroom, for the most part, is a pretty well-oiled machine of just go in, you piss, and you get the fuck out of there. You add women into the mix, and oh my God, it's a little bit more complicated. It's a little longer of them lines. Come on now. And I'm just look, just from the standpoint of efficiency, I like having the men's bathroom be the men's bathroom and sit in public. And yeah, I don't dig the unisex ones. I don't.
No.
Kind of jumping off that real quick.
Go ahead.
Sorry, let me jump real quick. So, if you ever go to a bar, not a bar, but if you go to a beer fest or a cider fest, whatever, anything that deals with a lot of fucking drinking, they usually have outdoor porta potties. Yep. And the number one hack that you should do is get into the line with the least amount of women in it, because if it's a line of men, that line's gonna go a whole lot quicker. It's interesting. I could literally sit there and watch and see a line go slower than the other. But if there's one female or two females, whichever one has the least amount of ladies and more men, that line's gonna go faster. Just life hack for you guys.
So when it comes to unisex bathrooms, I think there is a key thing that every unisex bathroom needs. If you're gonna be a unisex bathroom, you need to have a toilet and a urinal. This is how you just relieve the vast majority of these problems, okay? Because what Prodigy said is 100% correct. Because if you have a stall, and you have to have a woman, most women need to sit down to use the bathroom. But if you're a man, you don't need to. Or if you have a penis, Jesus Christ, I hate having to fucking define these things. But if you have a penis, you can, and you had to pee. A urinal is fine, and using a urinal is fucking way faster than sitting down.
They should
and pissing in a toilet. So
I wonder,
as long as you have a urinal and a toilet, I think it can be not as efficient, but pretty similar as efficient. Because then you just go through the line of, hey, you gotta take a piss, you gotta take a shit, you gotta sit down, whatever, and get to the line if you have a penis, because you can get to the urinal that you can use way faster than a woman, unless she's brave or has one of those devices where she can pee standing up, which they exist. And if you want to do that, it's on you. You can do that.
I looked it up, and there's female urinals, which is kind of it's like a super elongated toilet, basically.
Japanese style.
And yeah, but I mean, they just fucking like. I think it was most of the reason why you go to the bathroom like is to urinate. Like I think like I can't remember what the status was, but you usually go to the bathroom to pee. That's the number one thing you're going there for.
True, but let me just say this too. I'm going to stop. I don't want to get in trouble, but I don't think it was so harmful to anybody. Again, if you're not being a dick to anybody who wants to use it, that it doesn't fit your gender normative, whatever. But if you're not being a dick to anybody, there was no problem with men and women's bathrooms.
No,
like
I don't think so
just
either.
in general. I think the unisex is trying to solve something that really doesn't need to be solved. If you see somebody that is an adult and is minding their own business, let's say is transgender or whatever, and is using the bathroom, let them be. But you didn't, to me, need as many unisex bathrooms as you're starting to see. Let people piss and shit wherever the fuck they want to, and leave it at that. It don't solve problems that there's bigger fish to fry on problems.
Well,
I kind of like.
But hold on, I think that when you said that, I'm thinking of like issues that I've seen as a young man. Of like, just think about it. Imagine going anywhere in public, and there's a line for bathrooms. Which line goes faster, men or women?
Men.
So why can't we just make both bathrooms
Just knock
available
down a
to
wall.
everybody to like lessen the fucking time? And I'm not even talking about like transgender. It's just like just make it available to everybody. If you feel comfortable in going in either bathroom, this includes men going to the women's bathroom. Which why you want to do that? I don't fucking know because it's longer line. But I think if we had a system where we're both comfortable or all comfortable of using either bathroom, like why wouldn't we do that to like lessen the time of all bathrooms?
Well, what I'll say is this: if like I mentioned at the beginning, if you let people use whatever one they feel comfortable or want to, even if it's a woman that is representing or looking like a woman, and she wants to, from a time management standpoint, use the male bathroom, more power to her. I don't have a problem with any of that.
Yeah, but
I don't.
But the problem is that it's the other way too, though. Like if we're gonna open the window to that, then like why can't men go to the women's bathroom? And that's the issue. Is that Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, personally, I don't have any issue with a man if they want to. Again, I've been in situations where the men's bathroom is stopped up and all the toilets are broken, or for whatever crazy reason there happened to be a line in the men's, and I'm like, I'm gonna knock, I'm gonna announce myself. Maybe I'll try to use the women's bathroom rather than piss on myself if it's an emergency. You know what I mean?
I have the answer to all this. No more man to women bathroom. It's either you gotta take a piss or you gotta take a shit. So if you gotta take a piss, we got fucking urinals. We got women's urinals. We got men's urinal. They all can be just women's urinal. And the guys, I mean, we'll fucking just pee inside the women's urinal. It's like basically goddamn elongated toilet, like I said earlier. And then we have a bathroom with toilet stalls. So if you need to drop a deuce, go into the toilet stall room and just do what you gotta do.
Well, one last thing. No matter what your fucking gender is, if it's a urinal stand and I'm pissing on the far left side, don't you dare come over to the far left side with me if all these other fucking urinals are open. I don't give a fuck what's going on. You're a fucking psycho killer. You're a fucking psychopath. You're a weirdo. Fuck all of you.
Hold on. What you just explained, I think that if you're a woman listening to this podcast, which thank you first of all for listening to this podcast, but there is a unspoken code amongst men. People with penises.
Motherfuckers.
Where if you're at a urinal, you have to like, unless it's full. What if it's full? Then this code does not apply.
Mm-hmm.
But if there is room, say you have 3 urinals. If you have 3 urinals, and if I'm taking a piss on the one on the left, and there's the one in the middle and the right are available, the next man that comes in takes a piss on the one on the very right. Not the one in the middle, not right next to me. You go to the one on the right. Okay, this is an unspoken rule because it's like it's uncomfortable like pissing next to somebody unless you know it's absolutely necessary.
Yep.
Because there's no wall in between you, really.
Why
Even
would
if
you
it's
want to? That's the biggest thing. It's a mind fuck because you're just like, what kind of weirdo are you that wants to piss near this stranger that is me?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
It makes
Well, like,
honestly, go ahead. Sorry, Blue.
No, I was gonna say one of the when it comes to like bathroom etiquettes and stuff like that, like after a movie, like once a movie like Avengers Endgame, when that shit came out, that the bathroom for man bathroom was long, and you had to pee in the stall, whatever stall became available, like you were sitting there just going. But there's like you can't use that kid one. Like that, you know how there's like that one that's like a little bit lower. Like,
I'll use that shit though, unless there's a kid there.
If you gotta go, you
know
go.
what I'll do? I'll be like, sorry, kid.
Yeah,
You gotta wait.
what could be the man? Like you gotta wait.
My dick's way bigger.
Pinch your little
I'm just
pee-pee.
saying.
Holy
But then
fuck.
again, I think that's that bathroom that the urinal that's real low for people that are well endowed. You know, you got. But no, so if on YouTube right now, if you look up a video called "Man Bathroom Etiquettes," it goes through the rules of a man's bathroom, and it talks about what happened when people don't follow the rules. Like people end up fucking dying.
I might piss on your shoes. If you have flip-flops on, or I piss on your direct feet.
Yep.
If there are stalls if there are urinals available that is not directly next to me, and we could do like the skip rule, you might get pissed on your feet.
Well, and here's the thing: nobody has ever. It's funny that you have a YouTube clip about it. Nobody's ever told me these rules, but I've always known these rules.
Yeah.
It's just one of those fucking things, and it makes universal sense. Well, you know what? I won't say universal sense. In America,
Yeah.
everywhere I've gone, it makes universal sense. I don't know if it's international.
No,
I don't.
It is not.
Yeah, because I mean, like for one of the rules is like in a locker room, like you don't fucking walk around. There's an age for this one. Like you don't walk around the fucking locker room butt fucking naked. But if you go into like a gym or something like that, there's like a threshold age where somebody over this age they don't fucking balls out. They don't give a fucking fuck.
But like 60-year-old men always let their fucking dicks hang.
Yeah.
But like in Japan, like in the bath fucking houses, I mean, they probably had that back here too when they had bath houses. But like in Japan, bath houses, everybody just free balling. But I was gonna also say that like before with movie theaters, before like you could pre-purchase your seat. It's kind of the similar etiquette with the movie theaters. Like you don't sit right next to somebody.
Yeah.
Like you give there's a spot in between them. You sit like near them, like because there's that golden spot that's like the first middle section of a movie theater will fill up and people start filling in, kind of going outwards. But I remember this one time. I don't remember what movie it was. I literally went to watch a movie. I was the first one there. Perfect prime seat, middle of the theater, right in front, not right in front of the screen, but like basically middle of the screen. So I got perfect surround sound, perfect view of the screen. This dude fucking walks into the goddamn movie theater, sits right next to me, like if like he was my best friend, just sat right next to me. And what made it worse? This motherfucker pulled out a goddamn book and a fucking nightlight so he can read this book.
Wow.
And the first thing I thought was like, this dude is gonna stab me in the middle of the fucking movie. I'm gonna move. Like I was like, I am not fucking dealing with this fucking crazy psycho bullshit.
No.
And it was a book for the movie we were watching.
He chose violence.
Made it even worse,
No,
dude.
I got something even
Made
worse
it
than
even
that.
worse.
Is that when you go to the movie theater where you can't reserve your seats, you get there early, you get a seat that you want, and it's great, and then all of a sudden some asshole asks you to move because they have a large group. No, motherfucker, I am not going to move because this is my seat. I am fucking sitting here. Fuck you and fuck your group. Y'all have to disperse. I don't give a shit who you're with. I don't give a shit if you have kids. I don't give a shit about any of that shit. Like, you should got in here earlier and fuck all that bullshit.
Yeah, Tupac said it perfectly. Fuck you and your crew, and the set you claim.
It's first come, first serve.
Yeah.
We all know it. You know what I mean? Same rules in porn. First come, first. Oh wait, never mind.
It's even funny when like a dude with his girl, he's like, "Oh, can you scoot over so we can like sit next to each other?" Like, look like your girl sitting on this side because I am not moving.
Yeah,
it's my gate.
people are just they're so incredibly entitled when it comes to shit like that. Like, why would I move for you? I don't even fucking know you. Like, I got my seat. I've never once considered walking into a theater and then asking somebody to move for my convenience.
Yeah.
That is so
I remember,
fucking
like,
stupid.
Back before the whole pandemic, like when the whole crew, like the Ben Half, if you don't know who the Ben Half are, so there's people on the podcast, and there's like another family. Like there's a lot of people, even people who like we had on a podcast or have been audience or in the chat. But if we go see a movie, we're rolling like a good maybe 15 deep, and whoever gets there first, they're saving fucking spies. Like we're laying out fucking jackets, but we're not like blocking other people from getting seats. Like we're just saving it for our friends. Like we're not asking people to move this and that. Like we are there to procure a section for the crew, and it's not like your guys aren't there. Like your guys might be further back in line or something like that.
Well, let's hold on.
But we'll still stay fucking safe.
Yes, but let's be honest. We've done the whole like these are my seats things before, but there are times that I remember this very specifically where people were fucking late as shit, and it's like we can't hold these seats anymore. And it's like, hey,
nope,
it was on it, but just take it because the person's late, and we're not gonna fuck up your viewing experience because there's some people where they try to like hold a whole row for like a long time, and it's like if they're not fucking here, then fuck them. So like you got like a solid, I would say like maybe, and this is like max 10, maybe 15 minutes that I'm gonna hold that shit, and then it's like, hey, sorry, you got to sit somewhere else, and if you're scattered, you're late. You know, when I say 10, 15 minutes, I mean like this is well before the movie has started. Well before the movie has started.
All right, guys, let's round it on up then. Man, we went all over the fucking place.
That we did.
Yeah.
Blue, what you got populating this week? God damn it!
Oh man, this weekend's a big fucking weekend, but I really want to talk about the Will Smith fucking autobiography book he did, because there's some shit that he says in there that's been fucking trending. That's fucking funny. Basically, he says that he was at a stage in his life where every time he would have sex, it would cause him to Kiev. So he would fucking like, literally, he would every time he would have an orgasm, he'll have to throw up, and it's like, what the fuck, like just out of his mouth. Will Smith is doing an audiobook and he's talking about this in his book, and I'm like, holy shit, like you really fucking said that. But overall, it's a really good book, and I'll probably get into more next week. But
you gotta feel shitty as the woman who's his former partner. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, right. Like, to my pussy stink or something like that. But he talks about he used to smash a lot, like mess around with like a bunch of girls. Just his heart wasn't in it. Like he basically was suffering from a fucking broken heart or something like that. But I don't know. It's Will Smith is an interesting character in his book. But yeah, I recommend it. It's a good read or listen or whatever, however avenue you take it. And then like at the end, there's a dope fucking not a soundtrack, but audio clip from him and some other guy doing a song called Will. And it was actually pretty good. Like,
I know that song. Yeah, it was an English.
Yeah,
right? I'm pretty sure it's an English guy.
Yeah, I think so. But I don't know. I just forget like Will Smith rap career. Even though like if you compare it to like the bigger rappers and stuff like that, he kind of seemed like it was a joke. But like the dude had some good songs, and like he fucking got his point across and stuff like that. But he talks about how,
the problem. It's not a problem, but when it comes to Will Smith, like the way that he rapped, he was a clean rapper, so he didn't curse at all. He didn't talk about like gangster or anything, and he became sort of like a joke or sort of like a parody of a rap artist. But honestly, I like that he stuck with it and like doing his clean rap thing. And yeah, don't get me wrong, I have no problem with cursing in rap, like at all. But when people were like shitting on him for like not cursing and not talking about certain, subjects, it's like, hey man, if that's what he's comfortable with talking about, then that's him. And people were definitely receptive to it. So,
it's really interesting because he talks about his early childhood and stuff like that, and like how he got exposed to rap, and like his first song was "Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble,"
Remember that? Yeah.
and it's actually he got influence from another rapper. It's shit, what's his name? DJ Mac, or not DJ Mac. It was, I can't remember his name, but like the guy literally told a very fucking similar story. Dude, it's such a good story too. Like he raps it in the audiobook, and like I had to actually go back and look it up, and I was like, holy shit, this story is fucking crazy. But basically, this guy hits up a girl, and she's like, look, come through, I'm horny, let's get this fucking on. Dude shows up, her man, her dad comes home, and he's like, I'm gonna kick your ass. He's like, look, dude, your daughter's the one that's a slut and this and that. And like, it was just a cool story. It's a fun book. It's a fun audiobook to listen to, and let's learn about Will Smith's career and how he went from being a rapper to a TV star to fucking like a big Hollywood blockbuster actor or something like that. And like, this dude fucking worked his ass off, and it really shows his impact. You really understand how the shit that's going on with him right now is like, okay, Will Smith he's been through some shit. But other than that, I'll try to talk about that more next week. But this weekend is the Sweetness birthday. So Saturday is the Sweetness birthday. She's gonna be turning 21 for the umpteenth time. We'll give out her age. But yeah, her birthday is on Saturday, and we're actually gonna do a family photo shoot on Friday, which should be fun. I'm taking Friday off so we can hang out with our little one. But I started watching Young Justice. Young Justice. Earlier this week, I gave shit about it, saying like, okay, it's too lovey-dovey story about Superboy and Miss Martian, but then all of a sudden, this shit just took a turn to the fucking left, which is fucking crazy. Also, The Flash has been pretty good on the CW. We got like a little bit of a Elseworld, not Elseworld. What's the name of the negative force? Not the negative force, but the negative universe that's in the comics, like where we get like the Batman Who Laughs and stuff like that.
The Dark World or Dark Universe?
Yeah,
Multiverse?
yeah. So we got a little bit of the Dark Universe. At least I got a little taste of it. I thought, at least that's the impression I got. But the Flash has been doing pretty well. But yeah, just my little kid, like this. Like, so this kid can officially crawl. Like he's doing the army crawl, but like he's fucking moving and grooving. And it's funny because his little play area, we had like body pillows around him, so like he couldn't really get over it until like one day he was like, you know what, I think I can get over this, and he literally like 18-wheeler over it. Like he went over one side and then like he rolled over it so he can get over the fucking pillow. And I was like, whoa, what the hell? And the first thing he did was grab a power cord. I don't know, he grabbed the power cord and pulled on it, and there was a heater by him that almost fell on him. I was like, okay, we need to fix this situation. So we had Kronos got us a little playpen corral thingy. So now like we got his room kind of roped off to where he's a little bit more safer and stuff like that. But yeah, this kid just keep growing and growing, and like it's crazy, like seeing his personality change and stuff like that. But yeah, man, it's nuts. That's it for me.
Good shit, Kronos. What you got?
I'll keep it kind of short, but this week has been one of the most difficult weeks of my entire life, especially as a parent. This is like the top 3 most difficult times as a parent that I've had in my entire life. I'm not going to go into a lot of details, but yeah, there's things that you go through as a parent that nobody talks about, and it's traumatic, and I think people need to talk about it. So I talked to K-Mac about it. I want to do a podcast about things that happen as a parent that nobody talks about, and she wanted more time for us to talk about things. So I'm like, that's fine. Like, we could definitely talk more, which we need to. We've had some issues lately with like communications, which is fine. Like, people go through these things when you're in a long-term relationship. We've been together for like 11 years now, and you're gonna have hit some bumps, which is fine. But I might do just like a solo podcast talking about my difficulties in parenting and like how I've grown as a parent, and like give people like honest stories and opinions on parenting and like having kids, because I think that there's way too many things out there where people are just like, oh, my kid is like an angel, they're a prince or a princess or some other fucking bullshit, and they don't talk about like how much of an asshole their kids are, or the difficult things that they have to do with their kids, like force them to do things, or just like really shitty things about being a parent, and shitty things that kids do to their parents, and like how we don't react properly to kids being mean to us, or things that are outside your kid's control, or things that are outside of our control that we don't react to properly, and we just cover it up to like put on this really weird facade for everybody else to make it seem like, oh yeah, I'm normal too. But nobody's fucking normal. Nobody's normal. Everybody has issues, and we just don't talk about it. And I want to talk about like what really happens when you're a parent. And
we should
prepared. Go ahead.
Sorry not to cut you off, but I mean, for people on the podcast, we're all like kind of dads. Like we should do like a spin-off special or something like that, where we kind of all just talk about having a kid. Because I mean, I have a newer born, Elmore. It's a guy I know, but I know somebody else. I know somebody else who also has a kid named Stitch. But I got a baby. He's got a toddler. You got a fucking not fucking. You have you have a kid.
I have a 5-year-old.
Prodigy's got like you got 2 of the rounds, and then Prodigy has an older kid, and he also has like a preteen, or I don't know if he's a teenager now, but I mean we got the whole kind of spectrum kind of covered as far as having kids.
But yeah, I think that people just they're not honest about parenthood, and this shit is. It's hard, but not in the ways that people think that it's hard. Like, when people talk about, like, hard things, they're thinking about, like, kids being difficult. And yeah, kids can be difficult, but there's also things that you are likely going to experience that has nothing to do with them being, like, combative with you. Like, at all. And then once you get to that point and you have to do certain things, it's like, man, like, it's really hard. But nobody wants to talk about it. And this is the second time I'm going through this shit. And I think at this time I'm prepared to really talk about it. And especially because I made a post on Facebook not giving like specific details on what just happened over the past couple days with us. But like people have messaged me and they were talking about like shit they've went through like as parents. And it's just like, holy fucking shit. Like, it's a lot of fucked up shit that happens to people. I'm not going to tell, like, their stories. It's their stories. But it's like, why are we not sharing these stories and being more open and honest about what it is really like about being a parent? Because it's not what people think. It's really not. And like when I was younger, I'll save it for another podcast, but I'll do a podcast about it. But it's just, there's difficulties with shit that nobody talks about. And I want to like air some of that shit out. Even if you're not a parent, I think that people should listen to it, because you could be a parent someday, whether it's on purpose or on accident. And it'll at least, you're going to have to deal with kids at some point in your life. No matter what, even if you fucking don't even like kids, you're going to deal with kids at some point in your life. And I will give some insights onto kids' thought processes from my perspective and through like books that I've read and things that have helped me deal with children from like babies, toddlers, preteen, teenage years, mistakes that I've made and things that I've fixed in my own life. And I've had to apologize to my oldest daughter. She's 19 years old. to talk about her and like, hey, you know, basically I didn't know what the fuck I was doing when I was goddamn 22. You know, when you were born, and I wasn't prepared. So, yeah, but I'm prepared to talk about it now. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. We need to wrap this shit up.
No worries, man. Man, it's hard to it's hard to talk about some silly stuff after that.
Yeah.
I will just say, just take care of yourself this holiday season. Slow down. It ain't about buying stuff. It's about spending as much time as you can with those that you love and appreciate this time, man. We're still approaching basically 2 years of the entire world changing and a deadly pandemic going on. That's still going on and still killing a whole bunch of people. So just appreciate what you have and try to be nicer to people during this time. That's all I got.
Yeah, it feels like a what was it, Jerry Springer thing? Like, be nice to yourself. And what did he say? Is his outro every single time? I gotta look it up.
Was it not
super inspirational? Sort
was
of
it?
shit.
No, it was Was it Mr. Rogers that said that?
No.
I can't remember what the fuck Springer had going on except for all the fights and shit. Baby
Only thing I can think of is zip it up and zip it out.
Here it is.
All right,
Jerry Springer. I hope you can find some happiness in your future endeavors. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other.
I love it. That's it. You know where you can find us, all over the interwebs. You're listening to us. You know where the fuck you found us. Black and the Black Times Infinity. Google us.
Infinity.
Every single fucking basic podcast or video outlet, for the most part, we're on there. You know what it is.
This bitch.
Data.